Bill, PXW-200, this is a new one. What is different about this and what new things does it bring to us?
Okay, so you know the PXW-200 is probably our most popular XT-Cam camcorder. People really enjoy the half-inch chips, so we obviously haven't changed that, but we've actually implemented quite a few other changes on this camera. The first of which is a 17 times Fujinon lens, so that's longer than the 14 times on the 200. The internals are obviously XT-Cam, so it's XAVC, intra and long op. We've also implemented Wi-Fi, near-field communication, and we will implement the streaming. Other features that we've implemented are the new MI shoe. You'll have probably seen MI shoe on more and more of our products, both from consumer and professional. But the MI shoe is a real benefit to a lot of our freelancers, because it basically means you can use a product like a UWP-D, and because you're using MI shoe for power and signal, you don't need any batteries, you don't need any cables, and literally you can slide it onto the MI shoe and get started really, really quickly. So it's a real unique selling point for our product, and it will also benefit those cameramen who just want to get up and go and get set up in a very, very short while. So yeah, it's a really killer feature.
Great. I've seen various incarnations of this sort of thing before, so this is the latest development of...
Yeah.
Does it do more than just external power, or is that it? Is that what it does?
So this is for the UWP, it does power and it does signal.
Okay.
And if you're using this, which is the new HVL light, you will actually just control the light on and off. But again, it means that you stop recording and the light will come on and off. You don't need to. You just leave the light alone. You just push record. Your light will come on as soon as you press record.
Okay.
So that's saving battery life as well.
Now this camera, is this a replacement for the PXW-200?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So it's got everything the PXW offered plus more. It's obviously the latest development.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, we're regenerating the whole lineup of our XT-Cam range to implement XAVC across the lineup as the most important sort of brand new generation codec that we've done for a while.
So let's talk about the codecs again in a little bit more depth. Just tell us what we got. We've got XT-Cam, we've got XAVC Intra.
Yes.
And there's a third one?
Yes, we've got IMX on this, and of course SD as well. So it's really, really flexible.
Okay, well, I'm not too worried about SD unless someone really wanted it.
Yeah.
But when you got those three codecs there, which one do you use? And
well, I mean, again, it's very much driven by your client.
It's workflow, of course.
Yeah, but the great thing is you've got it all in the box. So you don't have to select another camera. So depending on your client's budget, you could shoot 25 megabits or you could shoot 50 megabits, or indeed if the client's got more money, you could shoot 100 megabits.
Which is the XAVC Intra.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, I'd always prefer a frame-based codec. I just feel there's more of it there.
Yeah.
And that's what you're giving us with the higher-end codec.
Yeah, of course. If you want more efficiency, you should go to a 422, a long op codec, and again, we've got that implemented as well. So it's ultimate choice, really.
I would have thought most people will establish the workflow and they'll go with it. And then if there's another need, meaning the client wants something else, you end up catering to the client. But for myself, if you can get, 100 megabits is not that outrageously large at all.
Yeah.
It's twice as much as what was on the PXW-200 before, when you're doing the 422 at 50 megabits a second. So it's not that large a codec, but it's a lot more information to work with. And that matters when you get into post-production.
Yeah. But all the IT tools have all developed, all the cards have got larger, and everything can handle higher data rates than perhaps they could 5 years ago when we sort of started.
And the drives are cheaper. We can afford the drives.
The drives are cheaper, yeah, of course. And that all matters, doesn't it? So storing such large data files isn't so scary today. And give it 2 more, 3 more years, it's going to be less scary. It's going to be normal, isn't it?
Of course.
Okay.
Brilliant. That's a good upgrade. I think so. I'm quite pleased to see you driving it along, because that camera, the PXW-200, which came from the EX1 and then the EX1R, PXW-200, and now PXW-200, it's a big evolution that's gone on there. And when you see where it came from and where it's at now, it's quite a road that's been traveled. And if you've used the previous ones, you know it already.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the PXW-200 has got such a reputation. A lot of its reputation came from the X1. And the X1 was a fantastic seller for us. It was a really, really quality product. People loved the fact that you could get such high quality pictures in a small form factor.
There's still a lot of EX1s and EX1Rs being used out there. I see them on jobs.
Yeah.
And not only that, no client ever questions it. It's the safe camera to walk in with. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it has to be an EX1R or an EX1. They wouldn't know the difference between them. That these are established, walking into certain types of jobs, this is what you use.
And if you're upgrading from an EX1 or a PMW-200, same battery system, same cards, etc., etc. So very, very easy upgrade path.
And not only that, I imagine it cuts beautifully with the PMW-300 as well.
Of course.
They'd be designed to work together, and there'll be the cameraman that wants to have two cameras, one with interchangeable lenses, another all in the hand model. So it's a tried and proven philosophy.
Indeed, yeah, definitely.
Bill, last year we had a good look at the PMW-300, which is here. This camera, I've been told by someone that owns one, he says it's one of the best cameras he's ever had. He's a real believer in XD-Cam and working with the PMW-300 and what it gives him. And it's interesting, there's a bit of a distinction between those that want the Super 35 sensors, the really big sensors, and those that are happy with half-inch.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about half-inch and then tell me what's new with this camera.
Yeah, and of course, half-inch is really heavily requested by a lot of broadcast and production companies. And where the 300 really sits in is that it's got an interchangeable lens and also studio features such as Genlock, timecode, HDSDI out. What we've done with the 300 is upgraded it again to the /1 version, which actually offers us both XAVC intra and newly announced XAVC long GOT recording, but also we've made a few cosmetic or ergonomic tweaks. So we've got a brand new shoulder pads and a slight tweak on the viewfinder to make it a little bit more comfortable for users. So lots of great features. As I said, it's ever evolving. All the existing PMW 300 owners out there can get the XAVC intra and long GOT free of charge.
Now, what's the big deal about having the intra as opposed to XD-Cam EX, which is what we've been working with forever? I know that it got better with XD-Cam 422. It doesn't have to be 35 megabits a second, 420. But tell me, these new codecs, what's the big deal?
Well, first thing to say about XAVC is it's a 10-bit codec as opposed to 8-bit MPEG-2, so it's a step up in terms of bit depth. But it also gives us the flexibility to do things like 50p or 60p recording. And 422 obviously is a must for most broadcasters.
So it's pushing the quality forward. Yeah. It's basically not costing more if you've got the camera already, but it's lifting what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll see XAVC in other products where we're using other qualities that it offers, such as 4K resolution and high frame rates.
Fantastic.